Congratulations, you booked your cruise, but what do you do next? In this video, I'm going to share with you what you need to do between 60 and 90 days before your cruise so that you're completely prepared and you do not forget a thing. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Since I did a video a couple months ago about what to do in the 30 days before your cruise, I have had a lot of requests for what to do about 60 days before a cruise. And since I'm now, I think it's 62 days before my next cruise, I thought this was a good time to discuss that with you. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you the 10 things that you really want to make sure that you have done, that you have taken care of in those 60 days before a cruise. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give the video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Okay, let's get started. Now, the first thing to do is to check your passport. And I would do this as soon as you book your cruise. So definitely in the 60 to 90 days before a cruise, because if you do need to renew your passport, it will take a few weeks. It's taking longer than it had in the past. But at the same time, you'll probably want to check if there are any visa requirements, just anything that you might need for the specific country that you are traveling to. Now, something to note when you do look at your expiration date for your passport is many of the countries that we are going to be traveling to are going to require you to have your passport valid from 6 months before the expiry date. So that's something to note. If your passport's expiring in, let's say, 5 months from the date that you will be traveling, make sure to renew that passport in advance and that you do have that ready and back in time. Number 2. Book your flights. Now, you could book your flights probably anywhere between 60 and 90 days before your cruise. I probably would go a little closer to 80 to 90 days before your cruise. But if you do want to wait until after final payment at around 70 days before your cruise, then you can definitely do that as well. Now, some cruise lines actually have an option where you could book your flights on their website and you only need to pay for your flights at the time that you are going to pay your final payment. This is something really good. And as long as you pick the flexible air option, this is probably, especially nowadays, a really good option. Most of the time, I found that the prices are quite competitive with Celebrity, with Royal Caribbean, and with Princess as well. And I think nowadays, I've heard this from many people who've booked their flights on Cruise Line Air. Please let me know if this is something that you found. Number 3. Book your pre and possibly even your post-cruise hotel. So if you've been watching videos like this for a little while, then you know you should probably almost always get into your cruise port at least one night before your cruise. You want to rest, you want to relax, you want to get there on time. So book that pre-cruise hotel. And if you do plan to sightsee and maybe visit that city before your cruise, then even consider like an extra day. So like maybe a 2-night stay before your cruise. Now, something that I like to do is keep track of all of my information. So I do have that as part of my Ultimate Cruise Planner. This is a downloadable printable planner. It's 47 pages long. It includes packing lists, planning forms like hotel accommodation forms, and more. And basically what you can do is you can print out the pages that you need, as many as you want. And I will show you something as well. Included as well as the hotel planning form, you also have a transportation information form. So where you can write down if you're going to be taking a shuttle, all of that information as well. And you do have a pre-cruise checklist. So you could put in for yourself to personalize your things that you want to do 6 months before your cruise, 3 to 6 months before your cruise, a week before, and more. Now, what I will do is I'll leave the information about the Ultimate Cruise Planner. I will leave it down in the description below in case you do want to check it out. Number 4, research and book your shore excursions. So somewhere around 60 days before your cruise, it is a really good time to start researching those cruise ports. Now, if you are planning to book a cruise line excursion, especially for those really sought after itineraries and those really those tours that are really popular, it is a good idea to book those as soon as possible. Now, in most cases, when you do book those excursions with cruise lines, you do have to pay in advance when you're booking them, but in most cases they're actually refundable and you can change your mind. So definitely check on your cruise line website to see what the terms and conditions are. But it might be a good idea to book that early on, especially if you really want to do that excursion. Number 5, start a healthy eating plan. Now, this one is a little bit different, so bear with me, and it definitely is not for everyone. If you don't like this advice, then just ignore it. Go to number 6. But sometimes what happens is we've put on a few pounds over the winter months, or maybe you didn't take off the 5 pounds that you gained on the last cruise that you did. I know that definitely happens to me. So usually about 60 days before my cruise, I try on a couple of formal dresses and I think, oh, okay, yes, it's time for me to stop eating so much bread and Nutella. That happens to me sometimes, and to start eating a little bit healthier. So it's usually a little bit of a good kick in the pants for me to really be a little bit more careful, maybe walk a little more, to get in those steps during the day. So this again is not advice for everyone, but if this is something that you resonate with, then this is a good time to start that healthier eating plan. Number 6, make arrangements for boarding your pets. And you should probably do this anywhere between 2 and 3 months or even earlier, especially nowadays. It seems like so many people have pets. So if you know in your area this is a little bit hard to do, then make sure to look into boarding your pets as soon as possible. Number 7, check your airline luggage requirements. So check those sizes and the weight, and then make sure that the luggage that you do have does fit with that. If you have to buy new luggage, then make sure to buy something that's lightweight. Make sure to buy something that has those 4 swivel wheels. You might as well do this now. At the same time, check to see that you do have a carry-on bag and something for embarkation day, as well as a shore excursion bag, and have all of that prepared for your cruise. Number 8, before your final payment, make sure to check your price. So oftentimes final payment is somewhere between 60 and 70 days before your cruise. Some cruise lines are a little bit longer and some cruise lines are a little bit shorter, especially nowadays. However, that's usually the range. Now, before final payment, make sure to do a price check. See if your cruise has gone down in price. If it has, most of the time cruise lines will honor that lower price. However, check at the same time if you could upgrade your cabin. Sometimes the next category up may not be very much more, or it might even be less. So definitely check that before just automatically making your final payment. Number 9, start a cruise essentials packing list. And honestly, if you can start this about 60 days before your cruise, it allows you to gather things over time rather than have everything that you do need to buy like 2 weeks before your cruise. So some of the things to think about, and by the way, this is the Cruise Essentials packing list. It is included in the Ultimate Cruise Planner, but some of the things to think about, binoculars, packing cubes, a power bar, and of course everybody's different what you will want to bring with you, but just list out those things that you are thinking of buying. Keep them on a list around 60 days before your cruise. Number 10, start a preliminary cruise outfit packing list. Now, you do not need to pack your items 2 months before your cruise. However, if you're somebody like me who tends to overpack, if you actually start your packing list a little bit early, you start your outfit planning just a little bit early, at least you know what you have, you know what you still need to get, and you are going to be less likely to overpack. Now, I definitely don't start packing my clothes 2 months before my cruise, but I start having a bit of an ongoing list, including even shoes. And especially if you're going somewhere like Alaska, you're going to need to pick up like a parka. You're going to need to pick up different clothing that you can layer, including waterproof clothing. You're probably going to need a good pair of waterproof shoes. So there are a lot of things that you're going to want to gather in advance that you may not be wearing on a day-to-day basis. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I do have another video all about the things that you really want to make sure that you do in the 30 days before your cruise, and it's especially important and relevant right now. So I will leave that video at the end of this one in case you do want to check that out. I will also leave the information about the Ultimate Cruise Planner linked in the description below in case you are interested in seeing what is included. Now, please let me know what are the things that you do in about the 60 days before your cruise, or the 60 to 90 days before your cruise. I know that that information will help other people as well, so please leave that in the comments below. Now, if you did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I would love to have you here within the Life While Cruise community. Bye for now, and happy cruising.